Okay, now let's take it a step further, right? So let's correlate it to the prison system as well, right? So let's say that and I'm speaking on African American culture. Keep in mind, it's my reference. So let's correlate it to the prison system as well, right? Most African Americans, historically, we know that African Americans are penalized the worst for any crime that they do, in most cases, right? Like a lot of times, most black African American people, no matter how big or small the crime is, they end up getting a record and doing jail time, versus other races, specifically white ones, which, like, let's say that your 15-year-old child went and stole something out of a store, and instead of just giving him a warning or slap on the wrist, like don't do that anymore, or giving him community service or something light, right? You would put him in the jail system, ruin his, potentially ruin his future by spanking him or beating him legally, lawfully. You understand what I'm saying? And generally, what that ends up doing is that creates a system of other problems, because over time, statistically, a lot of people become what are they called, defendants, whatever. Anyway, they end up going back into the system at some point, and because you know what I'm saying, they just become reoffenders. You understand what I'm saying? Because you have beat them into whatever. Now, when you get into the jail system, right? And honestly, I've spoken on this before. The jail system is a very, it sucks. It's a mundane place. It's a very mundane place. Now, of course, it's supposed to suck because it's like, well, you don't want to do this again, whatever. But suffering and reformation, because when people go to jail, they're supposed to be reformed when they come out. That's what they say, right? It's like, okay, but they're suffering while they're in there. They're being beaten every day while they're in there. The food sucks, the lighting sucks, the cages suck. You know what I mean? The productivity, it's nothing really to do. Like, it sucks. You understand what I'm saying? And even if you relate the jail system to the school system, same thing. The food sucks. The food sucks. The cages suck. You know what I mean? Disciplinary action, same thing. Because nowadays you remember when you used to get paddled, you used to get paddlings in school, and then they'll send you back to class, right? But now you get suspended for like everything. You know what I mean? You'd be lucky to get a slap on the wrist in some schools, but you get suspended. So that creates a demerit on your record, also potentially messing up your future, right? And then when you can't do X, Y, Z because of this thing that's on your record, you just become a repeat offender, because, what else are you going to do? Because you can't do anything productive because they're using that thing against you. You understand what I'm saying? Where's the reformation? You understand what I'm saying? Harsh punishments are supposed to keep people in line, right? But how do you reform a person, or how do you allow them to be free if you constantly trying to keep them in line? You understand what I'm saying? So then it goes back to my original question. Are whoopings and spankings, are they actually love? I'm doing this because I love you. That becomes a thing. That has become a habit that we have learned over time. Is that hurting people, like whooping them and spanking them for the smallest little things that's not even necessary, is supposed to reform a person. But if you just look at the jail system, has that reformed most of the people that go in there? No, it hasn't. It hasn't at all. A lot of people that go to school, you do the same thing in the school system. Most of them people don't even go to college or finish college or even need a degree, because they done had to figure out how to do it without a degree, because you're using the fact that they need a degree against them, but you done did all this other stuff and now they can't get a degree. You understand what I'm saying? Then you get penalized in the job market, which definitely affects your livelihood, but that's a conversation for another time. But you see how it correlates. So then it makes you really, really sit here and think about the ideology of America, right? The ideology of, like, America. When you do something bad, they want you to feel shame behind it. They want you to be penalized. They want you to be hurt. They want you to be beaten behind the slightest little things. You know what I mean? But where's the reformation in that? Or is it just used to keep us in line? Because if we go back to the whoopings and the spankings in the African American culture, right, those were used to keep us in line as slaves. And even though our parents learn these habits over time as a way to, I'm doing this because I love you. And they thinking because of the things that happened to them in the past, during slavery, during the civil rights movement, I'm whooping you because I don't want you to do better. I want you to do better. But truth is they whooping you because of the things that happen to them, because they're afraid that something's going to happen to you if you step out of line. But they not realizing that them lines that have been drawn are not your lines. You understand? Like, they blocked you out, pushed you out, right? So your curious child knows right from wrong. They knows that I belong here. I may be a colored, but I belong here. So they try to go in a whites only place. They know that those lines are not right, but you beat them to keep them from doing it. But really, that child is actually in the right. So are you actually doing it out of love, or are you doing it out of fear?